Hey everyone! It wasn't easy, but after a trip to the local library and a brief shopping spree online, I was able to limit myself to only 4 books. First book I found online for a stellar deal. I think it was a good deal anyways. $50 for an Easton Press edition of Don Quixote, leather-bound. The reason I wanted this edition specifically is because, well, first of all, I just love the cover. Just a simple red leather with a gold embossed Don Quixote on both sides. It's a book that I kept hearing about, seeing references to all over the place, and then after Googling it online, found out that it was supposedly is one of the best-selling novels of all time. The only book that has been translated into more languages than Don Quixote is the Bible. Oddly enough, Cervantes came up with the idea for the book while he was in prison. The book we all know today is actually 2 books. After Don Quixote gained popularity, someone other than Cervantes wrote a sequel to the book. And basically that's what motivated him to sit down and finally write his own sequel. And in it he refers to the imposter history of Don Quixote all throughout the second part. It's actually a little bit funny that he pokes fun of the other author's sequel to his own book, referring to it as the imposter. I've seen this book displayed at bookstores and people's shelves, but I couldn't really find anyone who's actually read it. So I figured I would sit down and finally commit to reading this massive book, all 682 pages of it in fine print. This specific edition has footnotes in it, and at the end of the chapters has little notes all through the entire story, just to clarify what things are, seeing how it was originally written in 1605. Some of it is pretty hard to understand. This specific edition that I got was printed in 1979, so it's actually older than I am. But it's in good shape, quality paper, and I kind of cheated already because I've been reading it for quite some time, but this will probably be the first book that I review, most likely in a week or so. The second book I got is a biography of Napoleon. The reason I got this book is because I started reading War and Peace, because I have been making my way through a bunch of classic books that I just never have read. War and Peace is one, it's super long, but I ended up getting again an Easton Press version of that. They kept referencing Napoleon, and the book is written by a Russian, and obviously from once upon a time ago, but the book is written by a Russian, and I guess I didn't know enough about Napoleon. I didn't know that he had any contact with Russia or had invaded Russia. As I had said before, not really huge. I didn't really know much about that time period in history, so I figured I would get Napoleon's biography and before I'd continue on War and Peace. The third book I got was Tight, The Life of John D. Rockefeller Sr. by Ron Chernow. I travel a lot for work, and when I go to New York, there's obviously Rockefeller Center, and you hear, we've all heard the name and seen it everywhere, but I really didn't know anything about his life. And I love biographies because not only is there history mixed in with these books, but you're getting a first-person perspective of that point in history. And the more of these you read, they start to overlap. And before long, you're getting a pretty rounded knowledge base in history. The third book I got is obviously more modern: How to Make a Spaceship, A Band of Renegades, An Epic Race, and the Birth of the Private Spaceflight. We've been seeing a lot in the news, different private corporations and their latest vehicle. Some of them, SpaceX is the one that comes to mind, exploding on the launch pad. The rivalry between Elon Musk and Bezos and whose rocket is better. But up until recently, it's been mostly governments building vehicles and having all the fun. And now we have all these private companies that are trying to commercialize it with satellites. And Branson talking about making a hotel in space. And so I tracked down what really ignited it. And this book basically outlines the events leading up to the winners of the X Prize, the first private spacecraft to reach the Kármán line 62 miles high twice in 2 weeks, and obviously the pilot has to live. So in researching how that all worked out. I tried to find the first real account of a private company, and this one seems to track from the childhoods of the people that actually won it, and it goes on to document their struggles along the way, all the way back to their childhood. So there you have it, reading material that I narrowed it down to for the next month. I have a goal this year of completing one book a week and reviewing them online. That might be a little bit ambitious. Subscribe and we'll see. Maybe I make it. Maybe I fizzle. Well, till next time.